Hi everyone, this is Sunny Kumar from IIT BHU and welcome to my channel Code with Sunny. And today I am going to discuss the problem checksum of Google Kickstart round A 2021, the last problem of this round. So let's discuss this problem now. So in this problem, we have been given basically a square matrix of size n, a Boolean matrix A, where the Boolean matrix means the elements of this matrix will be either 0 or 1, okay, and the element of the ith row and jth column is represented by aij, and there is a checksum defined for each row and each column, that is the bitwise XOR of a given list of elements along each row and each column, okay, and the checksum of ith row is represented by ri and checksum of jth row is represented by cj, okay. Now you can see for till now I have understand this question like there is a square matrix of size n into n, a boolean matrix, and there are two arrays given also, array r and array c, where the ith element of the r is going to denote the checksum of the ith row, and the checksum is basically the bitwise XOR of all the elements of a particular row, that is I'm dealing with a capital R array, and if I'm dealing with a capital C array, the Ci element of this array would be the checksum of the Cith column, which is basically bitwise XOR of a of this column, that is of all the elements of this column, okay. Now you can see there is some flaw in this, or you can say the problem says that the some elements of the array A are lost, and it is replaced with -1, that is -1 denotes that the current cell of the array is unknown, and we need to restore the matrix. And for restoring the matrix, you can see there is another matrix given bij, which denotes the if the current cell has lost its value, then it takes bij hours to recover to the original value, original known value, that is aij, okay. Given the final matrix A and the cost matrix B and checksums of R and column, and we need to find what should be the minimum number of hours needed in order to restore the matrix A, okay. So if a current cell of the my original matrix D is -1, so it takes bij hours to replace the current cell, that is to replace my current cell of the array A with the actual value, actual known value, and if it is -1, we need to do that, okay. And what should be the minimum number of hours we need, that should be needed to restore the original matrix A, okay. So how we are going to do this problem and what should be our approach? Let's move further to analyze this problem, starting with the very simplest way, okay. So let's move further. So I'm going to explain this problem starting with the base cases. Let's say I know the matrix, or okay, let's say I have the matrix as of array A as this one, and array R is also given, and array C is also given, okay. So you can see there is not a single element whose of the array A which is -1. So all the my original matrix A is already restored, originally already fulfilled. So in this case our answer should be 0. And what should be the case for, let's say I have a single element as -1, okay, and let's say all other elements are known of the array A. Okay, let's say I have this, and we have something array R which is given, which is the bitwise XOR of all the elements of a particular row, and I have array C also. Now you can see if my current let's say I'm going to denote it by this color, if my current cell of the array is unknown and it is only the single element, that is -1 is present only, whose frequency is only 1 in the entire matrix, you can easily find the -1 without spending any hours, without spending any cost on it, okay. How we can find that? You can see if I know the checksum value of this row, that is bitwise XOR of this, and let's say it has a bitwise XOR of 1, that is R1 is coming out to be 1, let's say. So it means that for two elements the bitwise XOR is coming out to be 1, that is, let's say I do not know this element, and XOR 0 is coming out to be 1, and this is possible only when this contain the 1. So minus 1 is simply 1. Okay, so we can conclude easily because R is also known and C is also known. Okay, so if my matrix contain only 1, then I can easily find. And what about if my matrix contain the 2, like that? Let me first erase this one. Okay, so let's say my matrix contains like this. Okay, I'm going to write minus 1 and 0, let's say, and 1, let's say. So this is my matrix, and I know the value of R matrix, and I know the value of C matrix. Now you can see again, the in the row 1, you can see there is only a single element of the array A which is unknown, that is minus 1, and we know the value of we know the R matrix, so we can easily find what should be the value present at this cell. And similarly, with the help of R2, I can easily find what should be the value of this cell. So in this case also we can easily find the unknown values. So I'm not going to spend any hours to find these minus 1. Okay, so let us move to some more tricky examples. So how we are going to deal with that, with tricky examples, and finally analyze what is happening here in this question. Okay, so let me write it down as okay, so let us take another matrix, and it should be like minus 1 and minus 1, and only this is let's say this is known, and we have also an R matrix already known. Okay, and we have our C matrix already known. Now you can see we can again find this unknown values, because okay, let's say how we can find this. In this row you can see only a single sorry, in this column you can see only a single minus 1 is present, and C1 is already known, let's say it has some value, and C2 is already known, it has some value, so I can easily find this minus 1. And if this minus 1 is find out, so this minus 1 can be easily found out with the help of R1 from the R vector, and this minus 1 can easily be found, that is it is easily can be replaced with some suitable either 0 or 1, because we know the value of R vector and value of C vectors for each row and for each column. We can easily find this. So in this case also we can easily find this. I'm not going to spend this any cost on this to restore my original matrix A. So in this case also our answer comes out to be 0. And what about the case like let me denote it as minus 1 and minus 1, and let's say minus 1, and let's say minus 1, and okay, so for now it is fine. Okay, now we know the values of R. Okay, and it should be like I don't know what should be the value, and C is also something I don't know the values. So can we find this the unknown values of my array A, sorry, matrix A? So can we find that without spending any cost? No, we cannot find that. Why? Because in each row you can see, that is this row and this row, you can see there are two elements that are unknown, and if there are more than one elements in a particular row that are unknown, we cannot find that. Okay, we cannot find the what should be the unknown values with the help of R and with the help of C. Okay, so this was the first case. Okay, so okay, so let me erase this stuff, it is very annoying here. Okay, so let me, okay, it is done. Okay, so now one thing also you can see in this column also, and in this column also you can see I cannot find there's a number of minus 1 is more than 1, so I also cannot find these values. Okay, so this was the case. So how can we find the unknown values? So we need to spend some amount of cost for any of the cells, such that we can easily, if we spend some cost on some cell, let's say I have spent some amount W to find out what should be the actual value for this cell. Let's say it has actual value 1, and if I spend this amount W, then after spending that amount W, we can easily find for this row also, because now it contains only single minus 1, and if this is found, I can also found this, and again I can also found this. Now the entire unknown values can be easily found by spending only a single cost W on any of the cells, and so we should have to minimize this W. And if the cost we are going to spend is for more than one cells, then we need to minimize the total sum of the total sum of the cost that we need to spend it out to find out the what should be the unknown values. So can we generalize this fact in a much simpler way, all or what? So let us think about that with some more complex examples, or you can say some more trickiest examples, and how we can think upon these problems. Okay, so let us erase this stuff first. Okay, okay, okay. So I've done something cool, some cool things. Okay, so let me erase this also. Something little bit annoying. Okay, now you can see. Okay, so let's take another good example. So I have a minus 1 here, and let's say I have nothing here. Let's say I know this value, some value I don't know, and again I have minus 1 here, and let's say I don't know this value, and let's say I have minus 1 here, let's say I have minus 1 here, and let's say I have minus 1 here. So okay, so it is obvious that okay, it is obvious that we need to spend some amount of money to know the exact to know the values of unknown cells. Okay, so we know the values of R matrix. Okay, okay, so I need to do something. Okay, so we know the values of R vector, and we know the values of C vector, and with the help of R vector and C vector, we can easily find this unknown value, because in the particular row you can see this is the only unknown, so we can easily find this. So I need to erase this one, because I think we can easily find this. So I'm going to erase this one, and let us write it as okay. So I know this value. Okay, I don't know. So how we can find these two exact four cells value? Actually, you can see this is actually forming a rectangle here over here. Okay. So if we are facing any cycle of minus ones, then we need to spend some amount of money. So how we can easily find it out? Okay. So let's start naming this one. Okay. So I'm going to write here it is nothing but the row 1, and here it is nothing but the row 2, and here is nothing but the row 3, and you can see it is C1, and here it is C2, and here it is C3. Okay, now you can see we can build minus 1 and minus 1 and minus 4 minus 1s are there. We can build a graph from every minus 1 cell to any other minus 1 cell, and we can easily find out the what should be the minimum cost. But this should take a n square time, and for sorting any edge to apply any spanning tree algorithms like Kruskal or Prim's, it takes around n square log of n square time, which might exceed the normal time limit exceed verdict, which gives us a TLE verdict. So we need to find an efficient solution. So what I'm going to do here is you can easily see I'm going to build a graph of this cell to this cell, and this cell to this R1 cell. Let us name as R1 at some random integer, and R2 at some random unique integer, and R3 such random unique integer, and similarly C1, C2, C3. And for this minus 1 also, I am going to make note that this is not a directed graph. I have mistakenly given the arrow. Okay, so I am going to make this edge, and I am going to make this edge R3, and similarly for this minus 1, I am going to make this with R1 and make this with C3, and similarly with this minus 1, I am going to make this with R3 and make this with C3. Okay, so this was the basically I'm going to build this graph, and if you analyze this graph as a separate nodes of R1, R2, R3 and C1, C2, C3, so let's build this graph first to analyze this in a much deeper way. Okay, so let me erase this stuff again. Okay, so let me write it down as, so let's build a graph like okay, so I'm going to do, so I have one okay, I'm going to write a R1 You can see I have R1 connected with C1 with a weightage of this -1 cell. Let's say it has a weightage of W1, and now you can see I have this -1. Okay, I'm going to write here as W1, and we have here W2, and we have here W3, and we have here W4. And you can see this -1 is connected with R3 and C1. So let us discuss now for W3. Now you can see it is connected with R1 and C3. Now R1, and let's write it down as C3, and it is connected with W3. Okay. Now this R1 is connected with C3 with W3 edge, and now you can see C1 is connected with R3, that is C1 is connected with, let's say, R3, and it is connected with a weightage of W2, and C3 is connected with also, okay, C3 is also connected with R3 with a weightage of W4. Now you can easily see this is a cyclic graph, and we need to uh, for this case of -1, if we know any of the -1, any of the unknown cell, we can easily find the remaining ones. And similarly, if you look at this graph, it basically signifies if we remove any one of the edge, either the weight W1, W2, W3, W4, we can easily find a spanning tree, that is a you can say a tree with all the connected all the connected components, that is every edge, every node is going to be connected, you can see. So I am basically going to do remove certain number of edges such that my graph will become a connected graph. Okay, so how we can remove this or you can say how we can remove this edges most efficiently, you can use some spanning tree algorithm. So why I'm repeatedly telling the spanning tree algorithms, because if you note the question, that it says that we need to find out the minimum total number of hours needed to restore the original matrix. So we need to minimize the number of removals of this edge. Okay, so we need to minimize the number of removals of this edge. So in more formally, you can understand this statement as we need to find the maximum spanning tree of the generated graph. Okay, so for a given graph, it is if it is cyclic, we need to find the what should be the maximum spanning tree weight of this graph. And let's say it has a maximum spanning tree as weight W, capital W, and then our answer would be simply total weight. Let's say denote it as T minus the maximum spanning tree weight. And if we do this subtraction, you can easily see I will get the value as the minimum number of hours to be utilized on any of the cells, that is a combination of cells or one or more than one cells, so that we can easily find out all the unknown cells of the matrix A. Basically we are going to restore the matrix. Okay, so let's generalize this problem. So basically we are going to build the graph of minus ones, such that we are going to consider any 2n number of nodes, that is nodes of C1, C2, C3 and Cn, and nodes of R1, R2, R3 up to Rn. And we need to be careful that C1, C2, C3 up to Cn and R1, R2, R3 up to Rn must be distinct, that is they should not match with any other key of nodes. Okay, and also if I'm going to build the graph, and we need to remove certain number of edges, and we need to find the maximum spanning tree. Why we need to find the maximum spanning tree? We need to find the maximum spanning tree because we need to minimize the number of hours. Simply we need to minimize the number of hours. So to minimize the number of hours, we need our graph to be acyclic, and it has a maximum weight, so that we can easily subtract the total weight minus maximum weight. That should be the minimum number of hours. So that's the key point of this question. So let's move further to coding part, how we can code this together. Okay, so let's move further. So you can see, so my code is going to have a time complexity of O of n squared, log of n, and space complexity of O of n squared as obvious. Now you can see, okay, so let's start with the solve function for every test case. I have the value of n, I have a total as 0, Oh, okay, so I'm going to fill that, and I have maintained a priority queue, which is nothing but maximum heap to store the edges with a decreasing order of their weight. How we are going to build the edges? It is simply the value of bij. Okay, now here is A matrix and B matrix and R vector and C vector. Now I iterated through the matrix and take the input as Aij, and now for the B matrix, let's have the cost of the particular cell, and for the particular cell, if you can find if Aij is going to be -1, so we need to perform something, that is we need to add some edges so that we can so if we are not going to if we are not able to find the unknown values, we need to spend some hours. So let's consider that. So how we are going to find that? So we can easily find the maximum spanning tree using two algorithms that is known so far, the best of the algorithms, Kruskal algorithms or Prim's algorithms, to find the minimum spanning tree. But here it is maximum spanning tree, so no need to worry about. So just reverse the, you can say, the edges with starting with the maximum. Okay, so what I have done is for every value of unknown cell, let's first add up the cost in the total variable, total plus equal to cost, and I am going to push this let's say push this value comma the value comma the nodes, that is you can C1 and R1, let's say. Now what I have done is you can see q dot push the cost and I comma n plus j. This is the very important point. You can see I need to maintain C1, C2, C3 up to Cn as distinct, with R1, R2, R3 as distinct, that every other nodes must not match with any other node, that is C1, C2, C3 up to Cn must not match with R1, R2, R3 up to Rn. So I need to be careful about that. So I've just q dot push cost comma I comma n plus j. I've done that because after n all are going to be distinct. Okay, so I have taken the values of R and C. I think this is of no use, the value of R and the value of C. And what I have done is I have implemented a disjoint set union to find out the maximum spanning tree. If you are unaware about the disjoint set union, so you can check the description section of my video, and I have mentioned there how we can find the disjoint set union. Now the very good article you can read about there. Okay, and also I have okay, so basically I've implemented the disjoint set union for finding out the maximum spanning tree using Kruskal algorithm. Now you can see for every note that the I maintained the priority queue of, so the edges are already sorted in descending order of their weight. So my cost, let's pick up the maximum weight and check it out if on uniting this set V1 and V2 is true, that is we can unite this set, it means that there is a you can say initially they are not connected, so I'm going to connect that, and if it is already cycle, then this union set will return false. So if it is if condition passes, then I'm going to just take this cost into my rest variable, which should be just adding the weights for the maximum spanning tree. Okay, so this is basically a greedy approach, you can easily think about that. So just this was the basic implementation of Kruskal algorithm. So finally, what should be our answer? What should be the minimum number of hours to know to restore the matrix A, which is simply total weight of just connecting the -1 to R1, C1 and all this stuff. Okay, total weight total weight minus the maximum spanning tree weight, that should be our answer. So, okay, so here you can see I have find set function and union set function, which I've used to, which I've implemented for the disjoint set union approach using rank and path compression. You can find the more details in my description section of the video. So this code is have the time complexity of O of n squared log of n and the space complexity of O of n squared. So let's run this code and check it out if it is going to be working fine or not. Okay. Okay, so I've submitted the code. So you can see I've already had 3 attempts over there. I need to find, I'm basically finding out the most efficient and faster solution for this problem, and very much easier to understand also. Okay, so the code is has a pending judgment. Okay, so let's wait over that. Okay, okay, okay. So I think this should must pass it out. Yes, it should pass. So if you have any doubts, do not forget to mention in the comment section of the video. And I will ask the viewers to like this video, share this video, and also join my Telegram channel, link present in the description section of the video, and do subscribe to my YouTube channel for latest updates. Thank you for watching this video.